by sitting on our blankets today. You can just do the 2 blankets. If you want more support, you can fold the top blanket one more time if you want. And when you sit down, make sure you're comfortable. So our focus today is actually to kind of reconnect with our bodies. So we're going to do a lot of mobility, lubricating the joints, finding some freedom of movement. So it's going to be a little different than our normal flow. We're not going to do our vinyasa flow. We're just going to do some stretches and just some movements to kind of feel like we're present in our body again. And I feel like when we move around a lot and get that freedom where we can move comfortably, then it almost feels like you're, I guess, cleansing your aura, so to speak. It feels like there's this shield around you of like positivity, or at least that's how I feel when I move around a lot and I feel like I can just move freely. So anyway, that's what we're focusing on. But first we'll center ourselves. So allow the eyes to softly close and feel the seat root down into your blanket. Relax the muscles of the face. And now do your body scan. From head to toe, scan the body, and scan in more detail than usual from head to toe. If you finished your list, see if there's anything else that may be talking to you, whether it be openness, tension. Reevaluate. Now check in with the mind. How's the mind doing today? Just observe. And now check in with your breath. How does it feel as it flows in and out? How's the breath? Is it even fluid in its movement? Do you feel free to take in a deep breath in and a deep breath out? Now let that go. We're going to take 3 deep rounds of breath. Inhale through the nose, as much air that you possibly can. Exhale out the mouth. Let it all out, every last drop. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Last one on your own. Now breathe normally. Cross opposite knee on top, your opposite leg on top. And now we're going to find a little bit of that freedom of movement we were talking about. So these movements, you may notice, are more difficult some days versus other days. And that's because we tend to kind of hold tension and then we create stiffness instead of that fluid movement. So we're going to start off slow, just breathe normally for the first couple rounds, and then we'll try to move with the breath. So first we're just going to stick our heart forward and even like open up the throat a little bit if it's comfortable on the neck. If that hurts the neck, just look forward. Now at the same time, see if you can root the tailbone down to your blanket so you don't lose contact with your blanket. Now see if you can start to kind of draw a big circle with the heart towards the right or left, doesn't matter which. Now start to lean back as you come to center. Hold on to the knees and just kind of bring the chin towards the chest. Now see if you can roll towards the opposite direction and lead with the heart to create this big circle. Now you can start to move with breath if you wish. Each exhale, you're rounding back, and each inhale, you're moving forward. Try to outline almost like outlining the pelvic bowl, the rim of the pelvic bowl. And try to keep this a circle. Notice if you're starting to kind of find any flat spots where you just either skip something or it just feels flat. Try to keep it circular. And the next time you round back, you can switch directions with these circles. Throughout the practice today, if you wish to close the eyes at all through movements, that's fine. If you wish to keep the eyes open and soft, that's also fine. Next time you reach the heart forward, you can find a neutral sitting position, neutral spine. Wonderful. Now we'll interlace the fingers and place the hands behind the head. Elbows open away from each other. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the spine, bring the elbows towards each other. Keep moving with your own breath, nice and slow, like you're sipping the breath in and slowly letting it go out. And just like before, try not to move too quickly where you're missing anything. Keep it fluid. One more round of breath. When you finish your exhalation, you can come back to a normal sitting position, releasing the hands. All right, now some neck circles. This time we're going to draw big circles with the nose. So bring the chin to the chest to start. And now you can start to draw those circles nice and slow. At the risk of repeating myself, try to keep it fluid. Keep it a circle so you're not having any flat lines anywhere as you move through. Next time the chin comes to the chest, switch directions. And as you're moving through, try to keep the shoulders down, away from the ears. No use in massaging out tension in one place just to hold it in another. Next time your chin touches the chest, you can bring the head right back up to a neutral position. Awesome. Okay, now we'll do a little neck stretch. Right arm reaches up, bend the arm and reach for the left ear. Tilt the head over towards the right, and left hand comes onto the top of the left shoulder. Really relax the shoulders down, away from the ears. See if you can even pull the right ear closer towards the right shoulder. Now reach the left arm out and lower the fingertips down. For more of a stretch in the neck and arm, actively reach the fingertips down. Take 3 more rounds of breath. And when you're finished, you can bring your head back up to neutral. Other side. Left arm up. Bend the arm, reach for the right ear, and tilt the head over to the left. Right hand comes to the top of the right shoulder, and create that openness in the neck space. Now reach the right arm out and down. Last 3 breaths. And when you're finished, release the head. We're just going to do a couple more rounds of neck circles to neutralize things. So draw big circles once again. And then the chin comes back to the chest. Switch directions with the circles. And next time the chin comes to the chest, come back to a neutral position. All right, now we'll roll off to hands and knees. You can scoot your blankets out of the way. If you want to have padding underneath the knees, that's fine. Now we're going to do a tabletop cat-cow. Bring the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, and today we're going to untuck the toes. Inhale, let the belly drop, lift the gaze, and exhale, round the spine. Move with your own breath, and try to keep the breath kind of slow and steady today. And really feel each movement as you move from one position to the next. How fluid can you make this cat-cow? Now come back to a neutral tabletop position. Now we're going to almost combine cat-cow with those seated circles we did earlier. So bring the heart down towards the floor. You can bend the arms. It doesn't have to touch the floor. It's just kind of going in that direction. Now start to roll the heart over towards the right or left. Then round the spine as you come back up to center and roll down the other side, sticking the heart out, concaving the spine as the heart drops. Then rounding the spine, pressing into the hands as you rise up. Keep drawing these big barrel rolls or barrel circles, like you're outlining the rim of a barrel with the front and back of the heart. Notice any pops in the hands, the elbows. Keep pressing the palms down. You might even get a little pop in the thumb. Now switch directions. Oh, that sounded like it felt good, whoever that was. Must have been an elbow or something. All right, we'll come right back to a neutral tabletop position. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back for down dog. Find your freedom of movement in your down dog. So whether that be pedaling the feet or shaking the head yes and no, find little movements here and there that feel good. Exhale, bend the legs and walk forward to meet the hands at the top of the mat. Feet are about hips width distance apart. Fingertips to the floor. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold, release the head and neck. Inhale, rise all the way up, sweep the arms up. Exhale, arms along the sides. Okay, now we need our tennis ball. So we're going to try and ground ourselves a little bit. That way we're a little bit more present in the moment and present in the movements that we're about to do later. So first thing we're going to do is place the tennis ball underneath the toes with the heel on the floor. Doesn't matter how your other foot is, just as long as you have a comfortable stance. You might even want to bend that leg slightly just to kind of prevent hyperextension in the knee. Now start to press down into the tennis ball a little bit. Kind of find that edge of pressure that feels good enough with a little ache, but not so bad that it feels like you're hurting your foot. And try to find that nice edge and root the foot down. Again, eyes can be open or closed. We're just going to stay there in stillness with the ball underneath the foot. And while you're doing that, I'm going to read this little walking meditation from Thich Nhat Hanh. Walking meditation can be very enjoyable. We walk slowly, alone or with friends, if possible, in some beautiful place. Walking meditation is really to enjoy the walking. Walking not in order to arrive, but just to walk. Now you can bring the ball underneath the ball of the foot. Same thing, just find some pressure with the heel on the floor. The purpose is to be present in the moment and aware of our breathing and our walking to enjoy each step. Therefore, we have to shake off all the worries and anxieties, not thinking of the future, not thinking of the past, just enjoying the present moment. We should make each step as if we are the happiest person on earth. Now bring the ball underneath the arch of the foot. This might be a little sensitive for some, so just kind of ease into it. Although we walk all of the time, our walking is usually more like running. When we walk like that, we print anxiety and sorrow on the earth. We have to walk in a way that we only print peace and serenity on the earth. We can all do this, provided that we want it very much. Any child could do it. If we can take one step like this, we can take 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now bring the ball underneath the heel. Now your toes will probably come down to the floor. See, when we are able to take one step peacefully and happily, we are working for the cause of peace and happiness for the whole of humankind. If you feel happy, peaceful, and joyful while you are walking, you are practicing it correctly. Be aware of the contact between your feet and the earth. Walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet. We have caused a lot of damage to the earth. Now it is time for us to take good care of her. We bring our peace and calm to the surface of the earth and share the lesson of love. We walk in that spirit. So maybe if you decide to take a walk on this beautiful day today, you can try that walking meditation. So now you can release the ball and bring your feet about hips width distance apart and notice how you feel now. Maybe you don't feel any different. For me, I feel like my right foot now is just rooted to the earth. It feels like it's almost pulling down further and deeper than my other foot. But some people might not notice anything at all. So just kind of observe what you're feeling and experiencing here in one foot and in one leg versus the other. All right, now we'll switch sides. So we'll bring the ball underneath the other foot this time, starting with the toes. And now we're even going to do something a little bit different with our arms to keep our heart open. We're just going to create fists and place the fists right down onto our hips. Very sassy, yeah. But it'll help keep your spine lengthened, and you might even feel your heart kind of feeling a little more open just from this simple movement. Now the ball can come underneath the ball of the foot. You can slide down the foot a little bit. And now you can bring it to the arch. We're going to move through this one a little faster. And now we'll bring it underneath the heel. All right, now you can remove the ball and set it off to the side. You're done with it. You can stand near the top of your mat with your feet a little wider than hips width distance apart, but not as wide as the mat. Once again, observe how both feet feel. Maybe they feel a little more equaled out, maybe not. Now we're going to grab a hold of opposite elbows and fold forward. Let the legs be bent somewhat. Let them be buoyant as you move through the practice here. Let the head and neck just hang. And now we're going to draw circles while making our way up to stand. So draw the circle in one direction, like you're outlining a circle with the elbows. Start to simultaneously straighten the opposite leg as you rise up to stand, all the way up to stand in a circular motion. And then trace that circle over to the opposite direction, circling your way down, straightening the opposite leg, rooting the foot into the floor to stretch out the side body. Keep moving fluidly in one direction for now. If it's okay on the neck, you can even just have the gaze follow the forearms. Next time you hang forward, switch directions with those circles. And now you can just hang at center, release the fingertips down. Now we're going to do similar circles, but this time we're going to keep our arms heavy. It's almost like the arms are just kind of like lifeless. Now start to draw circles in one direction. Rise up to stand with the arms just dangling, hanging. Yeah, like they're heavy arms. Then as you rise up to stand, let the head just kind of drop back a little bit. chin open away from the chest. And then you can start to roll to the other side. It might feel kind of silly, but let the arms be super heavy, like you can't even move them, like you're paralyzed in the arms. Keep drawing that big circle. Really let the throat and heart open by incorporating the neck circles. And switch directions with the circles. One more circle. And when you're finished, you can slowly rise up to stand. All right, now we're going to do some hip circles. So bring your hands to the hips for now. And you can keep the legs kind of bent here and there as you move, but start to circle the hips forward and then back. Now here you might notice there's some more flat spots. For me specifically, when I thrust my hips forward, it feels like I can't really round it into a circle. So see if you can really try to actively round it into a perfect circle or oval shape. Try to avoid flat spaces and keep them round. And the next time the hips go forward, you can switch directions with the circles. And then you can come back to stillness. All right, with the feet just as they are, interlace the fingers and bring the hands above the head. We're going to start with what's called wood chopper. Exhale, sigh it out, and bring the arms between the legs. And inhale brings you back up. Exhale, swing. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale, keep going. You might even want to exhale forcefully out the mouth, especially if there's any stress, mental or physical. Keep the legs buoyant as you move. Don't lock the knees. If you get too dizzy, you can take a break and then continue on when you're ready. We're going to try and do 3 more. And the inhale brings you back up after your 3rd exhale. Whew. Go, just observe for a minute how you feel. You might feel that energy coming up a little bit. All right. Now you can bring your feet a little more towards hips width distance apart. We're going to do big arm circles, like we're swimming forward, like a breaststroke in the water. Nice and big. See if, again, you can keep these nice and round, too, as you circle the arms. Now you should start feeling that freedom of movement a little bit by moving the arms around, feeling like you can take up as much space as you want. This is your air. This is your bubble. Take up as much space as you'd like. And next time the arms are along the sides, you can do backstrokes, switching directions. And next time the arms come along the sides, you can stop. Now we'll do big flaps, like we're flapping our wings. Nice and slow. No need to speed them up. You can do 1 breath per movement. You can start with maybe having the backs of the hands touch for a little bit. And then after you've done that a few times, try bringing the palms together to touch. See if there's anything different with those movements. 1 more. Good. And then we can stop. Now grab your strap. Now we're going to do those shoulder openers with the strap. So if you need to take a break with this one, feel free to do so. Feet hips width distance apart, strapped in both hands, arms extended out in front of us. Bring the hands a little bit wider than shoulders width distance apart. You may have to give yourself more slack in the strap in a minute. Inhale, reach the arms up. Now on an exhale, bring the arms behind you. If you have to open out the strap a little bit, that's okay. Inhale brings the arms back up. And exhale, arms out in front of you. Keep going. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms behind. One more round. An inhale brings it up and back. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Now you can release the strap. Grab your blocks now and place those near the top of the mat. We're going to place them, though, off of the sides of the mat on the lowest level. And we actually want to have it so that the narrow rectangle is facing towards the mat and facing outward. So it kind of looks awkward compared to what we normally do. All right, now if you need your knee padding as well, you can grab your blanket and we'll all come down onto hands and knees. I'm going to grab my knee pad. So come into your tabletop position and step your right foot forward. Now, see if you can bring your blocks in line with the heel. So maybe line them up. You have to scoot them back, forward. Just kind of make sure they're somewhat in line with the heel. Now bring your left hand to this left block and reach the right arm up. Keep bending in the front leg. So we're going to low lunge while also opening up the heart. So in this one, you can either keep the arm still, or if you want to keep finding that lubrication in the arm, you can start to make big circles with the arm. And even try to let the right or left ear come down towards the left shoulder. Switch directions with the circles if you're doing them. And keep bending in the front leg. Next time the arm comes along the side, you can just come right back to center, framing the foot with the hands, and send the right knee back. Step opposite foot forward. So that's left foot forward, right hand on the block. Reach the arm up, or find those circles if you're ready for those. One side might be different than the other, so just honor that. But try your best to even things out. Switch directions with those circles. And next time the arm comes along the side, you can just frame the front foot back at center and then step that knee back. Now step your right foot forward once again and extend the leg until the heel comes onto the ground. Grab your blocks and place them underneath the hands, framing the front leg. Try to keep your back hip directly over the back knee. Really actively flex the front foot like you're curling the toes towards the face. Now we're just going to find these bowing movements. Inhale here, lifting the gaze. Exhale, bow the heart down first, then let the head and neck release. Inhale, brings the head up, gaze lifts. Exhale, heart bows. Keep finding your own rhythm. If you have to change the level of your blocks or remove them, feel free to do so. If you're feeling a lot of sensation in the front leg, too much sensation, rise the level of your blocks and press the hands into the blocks more to take some of that sensation out. One more round of breath. Inhale brings you back up. And now you can step the right knee back, left foot forward. Extend the left leg like you're kicking through the heel. And make sure the back hip's level directly over the knee. And we'll start in with the bowing. Take 2 more rounds of breath. When you finish your second exhalation, an inhale brings you back to rising up. Then bend the front leg, send the knee back. Now bring the knees wide, wider than hips width distance apart. Big toes touch. You can send your blocks forward out of the way and come into a brief little child's pose. Let the forehead melt, arms melt, heart melt. Take one more round of breath. And an inhale brings you back to a tabletop position with the knees hips width distance apart. So now if you had the back knee or the knees padded with your blanket, then go ahead and open that blanket up a little more if you're still going to use it. Open it one more time so it's nice and long on your mat. That's only if you're using the blanket. Then return back to your tabletop-like position. And now we're going to try to bring the right foot forward, heel toe the foot over towards the right and let the knee, towards the left and let the knee drop over towards the right. Almost like we're coming into a figure 4 on our hands and knees. Then tuck the back toes and just kind of scoot that back knee back a little more so you can settle into the front hip. Find that amount of sensation that feels good. Hands can stay down on the floor if this is enough sensation in the outer right hip. You can also bring your forearms down to a block or the floor if it's available. We're just going to find a sleeping pigeon now. So now that we're not finding much movement anymore, we still want to try and breathe into those sticky spaces. So anything that feels like tension or stuck energy, try to breathe your way through it, like you're massaging it out. Ooh, I like that idea. And get a tennis ball for underneath to massage it out. That's a good idea. I like that idea, yeah. So if you want to try and grab your tennis ball and put it under your outer right hip, that's a good idea. I'm just going to stay here like this. Notice if there's anything preventing you from just fully dropping into the pose. Is there anything that's still tense or gripping, preventing you from falling into it completely? See if you can soften that. One more breath in and out. Then you can plant the hands, return the gaze back up. Just take a couple rounds of breath here with the palms on the floor. If you want to open your heart more, you can even bring the blocks or block underneath the hands and lift the heart up even more. Take one more round of breath in and out. Now you can bring the hands back down to the floor. And we're going to try and come into a downward facing dog. So we're going to tuck the back toes. You can even scooch the knee forward a little. And then we'll send that leg up into a tripod down dog and lower the foot back down. Pedal the feet. Let movement and feeling return back to the leg. And we'll come back down to the knees. Step the left foot forward and heel toe the foot over to the right. The knee drops over to the left. If you felt any sensitivity in your knee the last round, keep that foot flexed. Now tuck the back toes and inch the back knee back a little further until you can comfortably settle into the outer left hip. And then you can start to sleep in your sleeping pigeon whenever you're ready, with the forearms coming down to a block or the floor if it's available. Oh, and if you wanted the tennis ball on this side, you can grab it. Final 3 rounds of breath. When you're finished, you can plant the hands on the floor or your block, lifting the gaze, pausing here for a brief moment. One more breath. And then you can place the hands back down, transition into your downward facing dog. Slowly lower the foot back down. Pedal the feet, find any movements that serve. I'm going to do one more thing in our down dog, and then we'll come down onto our backs. Reach the right leg up, bend the leg to open the hips. Now draw big, exaggerated circles with the knee. No need to move too fast. You might even only do 1 or 2 circles before we switch directions. Switch directions. And then re-extend the leg with the toes pointing down, squaring off the hips, lower the foot. Other side, left leg lifts, bend the leg, press the hands into the floor, and start to circle the knee in one direction. Switch directions. And then extend the leg with the toes pointing down, lower the foot, bend the legs, come onto the knees. Now you can scoot your blocks out of the way. You may possibly need your strap for our next pose, so you can keep that kind of nearby if you think you may need it. And you can remove your blanket now too if you were sitting on one or kneeling on one. Good. Now sit near the top of the mat, feet on the floor, legs bent. Make sure the strap's just kind of off to one side so you can easily grab it with a hand when you're lying back. Hands come behind the thighs, and we're just going to take our time rolling all the way onto your back. It might take 2 to 3 rounds of breath to get all the way onto your back, one vertebra at a time. Here we go, starting to round the spine like a hammock and lowering down nice and slow. You might even feel the abs activate a little bit as you lower. It's not going to last forever. Keep the abs strong. And then gently rest the head down when you make it all the way down. You can bring your heels in a little closer towards the buttocks now. And we're going to do a figure 4 again, so another version of pigeon pose. So outer right ankle is going to cross on the top of the upper left thigh. Now we're actually not going to stay in this pigeon pose like this. What we're going to do is come into a twist. So if you feel like you're not going to be able to comfortably reach your top heel or top ankle with your hand, then you might want to grab your strap. So if you're lying back with the shoulders on the floor and you can't comfortably reach your ankle, then grab your strap and wrap it around the ankle, and then grab a hold of that strap with your hand. You're going to grab a hold of the strap with the left hand, and we're going to allow the knees and foot to knock over towards the left. So now the right foot should be on the floor with the leg bent, knee up towards the ceiling. Keep the foot kind of somewhat active. You don't want any tension in the legs. We're going to try and bring the foot down to the floor and try to either grab a hold of that ankle with the left hand or the strap with the left hand. And see if you can point that knee, that right knee, top knee, directly up towards the ceiling, even if it means you kind of have to push it away a little bit. Now, if you're feeling like this is too much, you can unwind and come back onto your back and grab a block to place underneath your foot. This will bring the floor a little bit closer to you and the stretch a little less intense. So we're not crossing the legs, we're crossing just the ankle, and the heel should be touching the knee. Yeah, like that. Yeah, and then you're letting the foot knock over to the floor. Yes, like that. You're going to feel a lot in the outer hip. Yep, that's the way. Take one more round of breath in this position. And then you can let go of the ankle or strap and let the legs come back up. And then you can remove the strap if you had it and uncross the legs with the feet on the floor. Now we'll cross the outer left ankle on top of the upper right thigh. Once again, one side might be different than the other, so see if you can reach for the ankle comfortably with the shoulders and head on the ground. If you can, great. If not, wrap the strap around now. Strap or ankle is going to be in the right hand. And now let the feet go over, or the foot go over towards the right. And see if you can even bring the foot to the floor. If you can't comfortably do that, grab your block and place it underneath the foot. Try to point the knee directly up to the ceiling. So it's not pointing towards the face or back, it's pointing directly up, if you can. One more breath. And then an inhale brings you back to center. You can let go of the strap and uncross the legs. Heel toe the feet to the outer edges of the mat, knees knock in to touch. Pause for a moment. Hands can be on the belly or arms along the sides. Now extend the legs long. Come into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Shoulders melt down away from the ears. Arms are along the sides, palms face up. For today's Shavasana Assist, I will have some essential oil, and it's a blend. This one's Balance, a grounding blend. And it has coconut oil, spruce, frankincense, whole leaf, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and osmanthus flower. If you don't want this, raise a hand now and I'll skip you. Inhale. Exhale. Bring small movement back to the fingers and the toes. And roll around the wrists and ankles, bringing mobility into the wrists and ankles. And in your own time, roll off to one side, come into your fetal position. And then slowly rise up to a seated position. Palms can come together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. The light within me sees and bows to the light within you. Namaste. Hope you have a great Sunday. Enjoy the sunshine. It's so nice. Thank you.